Hi everyone, I'm presenting the background and rationale for our study on Apple. Apple is a global leader with one of the most extensive supply chain in the world. However, the scale of their operation comes with a significant environmental impact. Research show that 98% of Apple total carbon footprint is generated within its supply chain, which is specifically in manufacturing, transport and product use. To address this, Apple launched Apple 2030 strategy. This is a commitment to be 100% carbon neutral across its entire value chain by 2030. The rationale behind this shift is rooted in the triple bottom line from our syllabus. So for the first one is planet. Reducing environmental disbenefit by eliminating waste and carbon emission. Second is using recycled material, reduce the high price and price volatility of primary mining. And the last one is people, enhancing corporate social responsibility and supplier labor standard. So, by aligning with global regulation and the increasing demand for the green product, Apple's transforming its supply chain from a risk into a major competitive advantage. A core pillar of Apple's strategy is by implementation of reverse logistics. As defined in Chapter 8, this is the process of planning and controlling the flow of goods from the point of consumption back to the point of origin to recapture value. Apple effectively uses its 500 plus retail store as a collection hubs. This infrastructure supports a circular economy through 3R: reduce, reuse and recycle. For reduce, they have shifted to using 100% recycled cobalt in battery and 100% recycled gold in the logic board, reducing the needs for new mining. Second is reuse. Apple trade-in and certified refurbished program extend the life cycle of products, preventing them from becoming a waste. And the last one is recycle. They use a cutting-edge technology, specifically disassembly robots like Daisy, which can dismantle 29 different iPhone models to recover a high-purity minerals that traditional recycling method lose. So, by closing the loop, Apple ensured that yesterday's product becomes the raw material for tomorrow's device. This strategic move secure their supply chain and builds immense brand value.
Did you know your mobile phone contains on average 20 metallic elements? Each of them ended up in the landfill with no chance at new life, which is why I want to talk about the critical sustainability issue for reverse logistics. Firstly, without reverse logistics, it increases environmental pollution. E-waste, especially from rechargeable batteries, contains heavy metals like lithium and cobalt. When these electronics are not properly recycled, these toxic substances can leak into the soil and water. This issue is very serious because the pollution doesn't just stay in the ground. For example, a 2010 research has found that in China, high levels of heavy metals were found in rice grown near e-waste recycling areas. This shows that improper e-waste management can even affect our food supply and pose risk to human health. Did you know your mobile phone contains on average 20 metallic elements? Each of them ended up in the landfill with no chance at new life, which is why I want to talk about the critical sustainability issue for reverse logistics. Firstly, without reverse logistics, it increases environmental pollution. E-waste, especially from rechargeable batteries, contains heavy metals like lithium and cobalt. When these electronics are not properly recycled, these toxic substances can leak into the soil and water. This issue is very serious because the pollution doesn't just stay in the ground. For example, a 2010 research has found that in China, high levels of heavy metals were found in rice grown near e-waste recycling areas. This shows that improper e-waste management can even affect our food supply and pose risk to human health.
Then, for the implication supply chain due to issues is, firstly, operational shutdown. Factories may face penalties and enforcement actions if they fail to comply with environmental regulations, particularly those related to e-waste management. Since e-waste contains hazardous materials, it requires proper handling and disposal to prevent environmental pollution. When factories fail to manage e-waste effectively, authorities may order a temporary suspension or even a complete closure of operations. So, this directly disrupts the production process, causing delays and interrupting the smooth flow of the supply chain. For example, a rice factory in Kedah was ordered to stop operations due to air pollution that occurred during its operational process, which result in delays in the production and supply of goods. Next, another implication of supply chain is increased production costs. The shortage of raw materials such as metals and gold has caused price in the market to rise. The price of precious metals are fluctuated, which cause frequent change in production expenses. This makes it difficult for producers to maintain consistent production costs when the price of input increase. As a result, higher raw material costs directly lead to an increase of overall production expenses. However, recycling offers a practical solution. By obtaining raw materials through recycling, manufacturers can secure resources at lower and more stable costs. Recycling also reduces dependence on mining activities, which are not only expensive but can have serious environmental impacts. By adopting recycling practice helps manufacturers reduce costs, improve their profit margins.
Next, I will explain Apple's strategy initiative for reverse logistics in the e-waste recycling. The first initiative is product take-back and refurbishment through programs like Apple Trade-in, the iPhone Upgrade Program, Apple Care, and the Corporate Hardware Use Program. These programs allow Apple to collect end-of-life devices which are then refurbished, reused, or recycled responsibly. In 2024, Apple sent 50.9 million devices and accessories to new owners for reuse. The second initiative is Apple's Global Collection and Recycling Network. Apple offers or participates in take-back and recycling programs in 99% of the countries where it sells its products. Customers can return their device through retail stores, online programs, or local recycling operators. In 2024, almost 14,000 metric tons of electronic scrap were sent to recycling facilities worldwide. The third initiative is Apple's closed-loop and circular supply chain strategy. Apple recovers materials from end-of-life products and manufacturing scrap to create new products. This reduces dependence on newly mined materials and supports Apple's long-term sustainability goals.
Think about your old phone. It's low battery weight and you stop using it. What usually happens? Most people just keep it in a drawer. Apple uses reverse logistics to prevent this. When customers return old devices through trade-in or service programs, the devices are collected and sent to refurbishment or recycling facilities. There, the devices are checked, taken apart, and valuable materials are recovered instead of being wasted. Research shows that structured reverse logistics help reduce e-waste and improve sustainability in electronic supply chain. Now, let me ask you something. If Apple tells you, please return your old phone for free versus return your old phone and get a discount or credit, which one would you choose? Most people will choose the second one, right? Apple uses incentive-based return mechanism like trade-in credits to encourage customers to return used devices. This makes people more willing to participate in recycling. When more customers return their devices, Apple can collect more e-waste efficiently. These return products are then sent back into the reverse logistics system for recycling. Research shows that incentive-based programs significantly improve collection rate and make closed-loop supply chain more effective. So, incentives are not just reward. They are tools to support sustainability. Let's think about how products are usually made. Normally, companies extract raw materials, make products, sell them, and once used, the products are thrown away. This is a linear system. Apple tries to change this into reverse logistics. Through reverse logistics, materials from old devices are recovered and reused in new products. For example, recycled aluminum from old devices can be used to manufacture new Apple products. This creates a circular system where materials stay in use for a longer time instead of being discarded. Research shows that reverse logistics is a key enabler of circular economy strategies because it reduces dependence on new raw materials and improves environmental performance. So, reverse logistics help Apple close the loop and build a more sustainable supply.
Next, we look at Apple's actions to help protect the environment by reducing carbon emissions. Apple designs its products using recycled and low-carbon materials. It also improves energy efficiency in both hardware and software. These efforts support a circular supply chain where materials are reused instead of thrown away. All of this supports Apple's goals known as Apple 2030. Apple aims to reduce its total carbon emissions by 75% across manufacturing, product use, and transportation. Any remaining emission will be balanced using carbon removal methods. One key way Apple reduces emissions is by using recycled materials. For example, recycled aluminum produces less carbon compared to newly mined aluminum. Since 2015, Apple has reduced emissions from aluminum by 76%, and today, aluminum contributes by less than 7% of its manufacturing emissions. In 2024, Apple made strong progress. Most of its tungsten, aluminum, lithium, gold, and cobalt came from recycled sources. Apple also used 100% recycled aluminum in products like the Apple Watch, iPad, MacBook, and Apple Vision Pro. Apple also improved specific products. The iPhone 16 used recycled materials in its battery, and the Apple Watch used recycled tin in its parts. Overall, these actions help lower Apple's carbon footprint and show progress toward a carbon-neutral future by 2030. Overall, these actions help lower Apple's carbon footprint and show progress toward a carbon-neutral future by 2030.
Expected outcome is cost effectiveness. Firstly, large technology companies such as Apple use reclaimed metal and components to help them cut production costs and stabilize their supply chain. In terms of cost saving, in 2025, Apple committed to using 100% recycled cobalt in all Apple batteries. In addition, the company used 100% recycled desoldering and gold plating in the production of printed circuit boards. And as a result, this initiative significantly lower material costs while ensuring long-term resources availability. And moreover, electronic contain precious metal and rare earth material that are both valuable and in high demand. By collaborating with e-waste recyclers, companies are able to transform all electronic into a new sources of income. Consequently, by recycling e-waste, Apple can reduce mining activities, protect natural resources, stabilize operation, and ultimately enhance its brand appeal. Finally, its brand value. To begin with, Apple's sustainability effort enhance their own brand image. Customers have emotional attachment to Apple. They are happy about having Apple product since the brand is not only interested in profit but about the environment. Apple has powerful and clear value that cause the customer to believe Apple share common belief with the customer. Secondly, Apple differentiates itself from competitors by using recycled material across its product. For example, the self-service repair program introduced in 2022 show Apple commitment to transparency and product authenticity. Moreover, Apple proved that recycled material can still deliver the premium quality, making a sustainability a core part of its luxury brand identity. And finally, Apple environmental initiative strengthen customer loyalty. Since customers are aware of Apple effort to reduce emission and recycle product, they feel confident and proud to support the brand. Therefore, they are more likely to remain loyal and recommend Apple product to others.